Well, let's continue our coverage now and welcome in retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent and Senior Director at the Center of Law at Wilmington University, Scott Duffey, and retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent and Town Hall columnist John Nantz. Thanks for being here with us this morning. I wish it was under better circumstances. First off, police revealed the suspect purchased the guns in the attack legally. Now the investigation is underway. John, where does this go now?
Well, I'm very encouraged to see how quickly Director Kash Patel classified this as an act of domestic terrorism. And what that does is that unleashes the FBI's full gambit of investigative tools and authorities to really dig into the maximum effect on this guy's past and associations. And we're also seeing a very clear distinction between a truth-based analysis, which is being conducted by the FBI, and a narrative-driven, I don't even want to call it an analysis, but a narrative-driven political perspective that we're seeing from the officials in Minneapolis. We're never going to get to solutions if we can't talk about the truth. And that's what law enforcement and law enforcement investigations should ultimately be about, which is the facts and the truth. So where we go from here, I think the FBI is going to make sure that we know everything there is to know about who may have radicalized the shooter or any potential individuals that may be supporting him or have supported him.
Yeah, and Scott, we talk about these school shootings far too often. What's your initial reaction to the shooting yesterday? I just want to get your perspective, on what the FBI does now.
Yeah, of course, shock and dismay. Yet another school shooting, and then, of course, at the beginning of a school year, which is a joyous occasion for everybody. So the FBI is, as I agree, everything with what John was saying, that the FBI, the investigators involved, they're not dealing with the noise outside. They're getting into the facts. And all the interviews of everybody concerned, his family, his colleagues, former students. So the FBI, especially now that the director is identifying this as a possible domestic terror act, as well as a hate crime, gives the FBI full authority to conduct its investigation beyond that of an assisting role.
Yeah, John, one of the things I'm interested in about, because so often we talk about whether it's a church shooting or a school shooting, how the gunman got in, where did security go wrong? From early reports, this gunman was opened fire outside the facility, didn't go inside the facility while perpetrating the attack, shot through windows. So what can we do at this point? He didn't get in. He did this right through the windows.
Well, that's a perfect example of why you need to have security in depth, like layered security. You can't just have individuals inside the church. You need individuals outside of the church. And that also kind of touches on a manpower question. And I'm hoping the administration maybe addresses this issue. We have tens of thousands of retired local, state, and federal law enforcement officers who have decades of experience that could fill these roles, that could make our schools and churches hard targets. John Lott has done some really interesting research, and in fact, some very chilling information has come out with regard to the manifesto, where the shooter talked about specifically targeting gun-free zones because people in gun-free zones likely don't have access to firearms. So it's a target-rich environment for the deranged, but we can change that with some manpower allocations.
Yeah, and in the gunman's social media post, we see that image of Jesus on a shooting target, a message on one of his guns that read, "Where is your God now?" The FBI is treating the tragedy as an act of domestic terrorism, as you mentioned, Scott, but also now a hate crime. So does that change the investigation at all when you're treating it as such?
It doesn't change the investigation. I think it adds a lot more resources to it. You are getting into the mindset now of an individual that chose to be an active shooter. There's a direct connection we have between the shooter and not only the church but the school, and then hearing reports that family members were also employed there. So somewhere along the line, they're going to do a deep dive into this person's history and see what transpired, not only the mental health component, but the very fact that this is somebody who had a deep-rooted hate for that which he was raised in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scott, John, thank you both for waking up early and joining us this
Yeah,
morning.
at some point we have to have this conversation about mental health
Yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
clearly the problem.